Welcome to FTN Top News.
APC and SLPP speaks on presidential runoff election postponements.
Out there were opposed to the injunction in the first place. We felt that it was an unnecessary disruption.
The TRC report did clearly state that because
the West African Senior Secondary School examination has been postponed to the 3rd of April.
Because of the election, our exams have been postponed to April 4th.
One Situation Room holds briefing on their elections monitoring.
Came in, indicated that the process was unsatisfactory. So the 7% was not in itself sufficient to discredit the whole election.
You are watching FTN Top News.
Hello and thank you for joining us on this edition of our Top News. I am Fatmata Bintaba. In this edition of Top Hour News, we've got many stories making news in and around the country lined up. We begin with our first story. Tuesday, 27th March 2018 should have been the date for the presidential runoff elections, as was declared by the National Electoral Commission. The presidential candidates of the SLPP and APC failed to secure the 55%, which would have declared one of them the winner. Now that a new date has been given, which is the 31st March 2018, FTN's Antonia Kamara takes a look.
The opposition challenger in Sierra Leone's presidential election edged ahead of the ruling party candidate by fewer than 15,000 votes, according to the final results released. Julius Madabio has geared 43.3% of the vote to 42.7% for Samura Kamara, which the National Electoral Commission announced. The National Grand Coalition, headed by former UN diplomat Kande Koleyumkela, which is hoping to inflict damage on the two-party system, stood at 6.69%, so no one gets the 55% threshold of winning the race. The opposition National Grand Coalition NGC is believed to be the party most disenfranchised by this so-called vote rigging and could enter the race again if recount proves that NGC votes were either excluded from the final counting and results or were simply shared among the two main parties, APC and SLPP. The conduct of the election was widely described as credible. Even the international observers turned a blind eye to the minor allegations of electoral malpractices and fraud highlighted by some local elections observers. Opposition and the ruling APC brings out issues of irregularity, but no one thinks the court. Ibrahim Soriko Ma, a lawyer and former parliamentary candidate under the All People's Congress, in his capacity as a citizen and voter, made a court application against NEC and its chief, requesting an injunction on the presidential runoff election, forensic audit of vote counts, internal systems of the institutions. The court then slammed an injunction. The leading opposition party, Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, issued a press statement in which they described the March 24th High Court order restrained the National Electoral Commission, NEC, and its chair from organizing the polls, pending hearing of the case coming as unconstitutional.
The party, we will not accept this, and the peace-loving people of Sierra Leone will not accept this too.
The civil society also voiced their frustrations with the judiciary of the country following the High Court decision to put the electoral process on hold just 2 days to the elections.
Civil society resolves that the presidential runoff elections must be held on the 27th March 2018 as scheduled.
Likely for us to hold elections, the runoff election on Tuesday. If we decide to do so, or if NEC decides to go ahead, the voter turnout would be massively low.
With a jam-packed crowd outside the court and expectations of the people, the High Court then ruled on the injunction, presided over by Justice Abdulrahman Mansari, saying, having further considered the public interest at this material time, ordered that the interim injunction be vacated.
did mention, we are really happy about what has happened today. For us, voting, casting our vote is not only about transition of government, but it's about post-conflict peace building. We are very excited about this.
And now that the court has granted the injunction that the elections should proceed, I think it's nice because all their submission they are granted.
The NGC says that it is on a condition that NEC addresses all the serious issues of malpractices and irregularities raised by most of the political parties, including the NGC.
We hear the case we've seen brought forward is important for this country. And as NGC, we want to emphasize that. With expediency now, we want to rush to do everything. That's our right as citizens.
National Electoral Commission has said that the runoff presidential election will now be conducted on Saturday, 31st March 2018. This exercise, the Commission says, will include other local elections.
Well, we have agreed on a date. I mean, okay. Yes. What is the date? We have agreed. The date is 31st of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the High Court having stated in its ruling that the interim injunction has been vacated, that counting of votes be done manually among others, and with the National Electoral Commission having declared Saturday the 31st of March for the presidential runoff election, the National Publicity Secretary of the All People's Congress, Cornelius DeVoe, has on behalf of the party stated their assessment on it an interview with FTN, adding also that the All People's Congress party is fully prepared for the runoff elections.
The action taken by him was taken solely in his capacity as a private citizen. Okay. And for us as a party, we think that the court ruling is a victory not just for democracy, but for the rule of law and for Sierra Leone, because we will recall very much that the TRC report did clearly state that because the judiciary then failed to uphold the rule of law, that was one of the many reasons that led to the outbreak of the war. So therefore, if we have a matter in which the judiciary granted an ordinary citizen access to the rule of law, in which the judiciary granted hearing to the plea and concern of an ordinary citizen, and in which the judiciary has ruled in taking into consideration the provisions of the law and in the interest and in the public interest that the elections should go ahead, but with certain conditions, we think that it is a victory for democracy, it is a victory for the rule of law, as it clearly underscores the fact that ordinary citizens can have access to the court in a situation where that citizen believes that his or her rights are being trampled upon. And that is why, you know, we have always demonstrated and comported ourselves in a manner befitting civilized people. Our leadership is non-violent. Our leadership does not have blood stained in his hands. Our leadership has not been by any way involved in any unconstitutional wrangling. Our leadership, you know, is very much respected, very much committed. Our leadership is passionate about holding this country together as one nation. Our leadership is very much passionate about poor people. That is why throughout this electioneering period, we are very much worried, because we are a party of the grassroots, and quite a good number of our people, you know, most of their businesses had come to a standstill. But we will want to encourage them, especially those of our leaders staying in the southeast, who have been exposed to various forms of high-level intimidation and victimization from opposition operatives in that particular area. We want to encourage them to continue to remain vigilant, to continue to remain steadfast, and to continue to rely and believe on state institutions that are responsible to provide security. That is the police. I want to use also this opportunity to call on the police to continue to act professionally and to provide security for our people, especially our people in the southeast who are being subject of victimization and intimidation. But on a general note, let me encourage all Sierra Leoneans to come out peacefully on Saturday and vote for the candidate of their choice. But we as a party, we remain very much certain that with the court order, the new provisions put in place, we are going to the elections fully confident that each and every ballot is going to be counted, and we are going to the election fully confident.
Commenting on behalf of the Sierra Leone People's Party, Ambassador Ali Kaba, chairman of the Sierra Leone People's Party Campaign Committee, talks on their position and preparedness for the runoff election and encourage all Sierra Leoneans to go out on that day to cast their votes, staying out of violence.
We're very relieved that the injunction was lifted. As people know out there, we're opposed to the injunction in the first place. We felt that it was an unnecessary disruption of the electoral process. But now that we are beyond that, we are ready to plan for the elections coming up by March 31st. And we want to ensure that everyone who is eligible to vote can vote, and that the election will be free, fair, and credible, so that the outcome will not be in dispute. We have cooperated very well with NEC, and NEC has been very responsive to our issues. By the way, we are permanent members of the Political Party Liaison Committee dealing with NEC. So for a long time, we've been raising issues, and let me say categorically here that NEC officials have always been responsive to us. And so we are confident that this election period will be well managed by NEC in spite of some challenges. It's not perfect, but it's not perfection we are looking for. We just want to make sure that they do this work in a way that will maintain the peace and stability of our country and the trust of the people in government. Well, we have always made it clear that NGC and C4C, are partners in the project called Change. We all want change. We are united around that, and that the supporters of both NGC and NC4 are very close to us. We are confident that we'll have majority of those voters because they were always fired up for change. And right now there are two parties on the ballot, SLPP and APC. If you want more of the same thing, the corruption, the mismanagement of our economy, the breakdown of educational system, healthcare system, if you are okay with the fact that this APC government has left us with 16 trillion Leo's debt, then you can keep it there. But if you believe in change, right now the only option is SLPP. So we have taken that message to Kono, we've taken it to Cambia, we've taken it all across the country. And I am very, very confident, as the national campaign chairman for SLPP, that we will have the overwhelming majority of supporters for both NGC and C4C. By the way, we are also very pleased that other parties have joined us, including the PMDC. Charles Magai, well-known opposition politician here, is out there now campaigning for us, knocking on doors, traveling from district to district. That is the spirit we want, that the SLPP is now really the government in waiting. We are just waiting for people to vote, but clearly the people have decided. They've decided for change. We are ready. We are ready like we're ready today to vote. Let me be very clear. We were working towards the 27th and we did not sleep. We campaigned every corner of this country. The reason is that we did not want to just limit ourselves to our traditional base. The reason why we are so successful in the North and the West compared to the last election is because we made it an effort to take our message to the people. Our presidential candidate was always out there, moving from neighborhood to neighborhood, community to community. When we traveled, we spoke to people from Kotbari to Kotbari, going through all corners of our country. So the message is there. That is why we are just waiting for the 31st for people to vote. We are prepared, and I can say today that retired Brigadier Julius Mahada will emerge as winner, and he will be the next president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. My friends, compatriots, election is just an opportunity for us to express your will.
Following the Announcement of the court on the interim injunction. Citizens commented on it and the postponement of the presidential runoff elections as FTN Elisha T. Kasek-Bama talks to some of them.
But the postponement of the election, it looked bad because while we assisted and get for seats exam done, but good things and then away people in able to do at the time right now. So you not go find the majority things and they will for do not able to do until this election, pass this election, and if we don't vote, we forget about everything. Without win, he win, and over power again. So then everything come back normal.
In terms of the delays where they happen with the election, they affect a lot of things in terms of businesses, other social aspects. They really affect me personally affect me because I get a massive store where they rent, where I don't belong. Somebody before pay for the store, just the day before the election, the person cease for pay because they worry say it's going to be wrong for them, I'm spending money. So right now, my store they still not rent yet. Then they put with BN, and let we vote Sierra Leone, and let we keep the peace.
As a businessman, we feel about we do under law. What in the law say now for obey. While the election go peaceful, but want anybody who can take over this country, maybe say can take over to the way they take over to it be peaceful. We don't want no problem after the election. So the runoff we feel and small, but we tell go think back when nothing not happy then push on to Saturday.
Anyway, this runoff in the other way we feel good, on the other way back we not feel good because also be the expect for this runoff. We visit this runoff, therefore don't do and when I be yesterday, but being that today and get a small touch between themselves. Okay, later we can't really say runoff, therefore do on Saturday. But also than done, we they look to that back. Lord said the Saturday they go. But we they pray to God no more. Saturday, let's the election go through. Because right now with the strain, we the business people learn, the school they go on, we go picking them, people they find difficult. So it's like that, and people look to meant. So we they pray God, I said they don't decide say therefore do the election Saturday, let God make it go through. And then they would they pray God for.
Well, this one for them postpone. Myself happy and glad because the way people they talk for this one off and done the box and with the say they all not come it. So we glad we them postpone.
Well, the postponement of election affects we because we not business people. We don't get way for sell. Because yesterday they say we then declare on holiday. This morning now, me I dip and cook. I know dish chef. And my sister go take it look and sell. So they say holiday no day. So then they affect you bad. And this country, they are bad on this one up here, if they make them, if we don't do it now, we have to cold. But now we have no cold. Because they go to school, maybe in 1 month, they no go to school. That's why they will not go to school. I don't get my left hand. No left that 10 years, because they go to school, then we can't drag. And they do them. But this election, they turn to Napa, we will not like that at all, not like that.
And like when they don't push off, so they run off. It tell on with the businessman then in which way one will business and they go behind because where you can streets you expect a customer can come around, you will able cook some, you able buy to you, make small profits, you will settle up your home. But like this, where they don't push and so back, I believe say people can get fairness for coming inside zone. And we if not so then they continue to do, I believe say we know they go before because all the time the country they go behind. And let them look to we they lay one then. Now we they need. And if they need we can go through to them. I believe say them back forget humanitarian feeling for we the poor one in the street. But if then they continue to do short a thing like this, I believe say we not they ever go before.
Well, my view to me, the bad not too much like the goodness because I feel say where them push and so more transparency go there. All man go satisfied where them push them. The only effect like we not trade and not drag man there. We do clean, you can't drag, you go feed the family. So the only affect that they will affect me. Because every morning we for camp. Oh can like this morning so oh camp, see how the town empty, plenty people not can at home for camp bye. So now the way that they will affect me.
Well, to me on common understanding, I look and say it's not that bad. Because now something happen along the line of the election, make them say, make it go bien. Let us see how we go work things so that things will come up fine. We all man go satisfied with the election. So me so say that make them push on bien to start the coming 31st. So I believe saying I find thing down there for let all man when the election come to pass, all man go satisfied.
With Sierra Leone as a country having held its multi-tier elections recently, though a runoff date has been declared for the presidential elections, it is 16 years old since peace was declared, with the popular saying "war done done" and the critical test for the country's democracy. This, many people say, is a reminder that the presidential runoff election further consolidated peace, democracy in the country. In light of with this, the runoff election further consolidates peace and democracy in the country. Our reporter Michael Samai was there.
Leading up to the campaign and eventually the elections, OneNep and its partners set up a well-coordinated election situation room in Freetown and a satellite situation room in Konode Street to observe threats to the peaceful conduct of the electoral process. Michaela Make, eminent person at OneNep, said based on the information received through the data connection team, indicates that only 7% of the total data indicates that the process itself was unsatisfactory.
Based on the information that came in through our data collection team, and only 7% of the total data that came in indicated that the process was unsatisfactory. So the 7% was not in itself sufficient to discredit the whole election process. Yes, as you rightly mentioned, NEC themselves did admit that there was some irregularities here and there, but it was not sufficient to say either the process was discredited in its entirety. And I think the matter that was before the court did not in any case say the outcome of the elections is something that they had sufficient evidence to say it was enough to declare the process null and void. So yes, as a situation room, we still hold that the process in entirety was free and fair and it was credible. Although you might want to say relatively, but it was credible based on the information that came in through the data connection team that was analyzed and brought into the decision room for final decisions to be made on the press release.
Meanwhile, the period leading to the runoff election has been marred by accusation and counter-accusation, intimidation, politically motivated violence and harassment that has heightened public concern and fear. These eminent persons gave their contributions on it.
And the environment, we picked out threat, sustained threat, ranging from tribal rhetorics, regionalism, tribalism, and all the rest of it. The security level was heightened, was raised to level 2. The security bodies, the NSC and the NSCCG were expanded to include technocrat. That committee called the NSCCG, the National Security Council Coordinating Group, the Specialist Security Technocrat, they conducted a nationwide
preparing for the second round. I think for us, one of the things that we are most proud of, since we are all from the same region, which is West Africa, is the fact that we continue to have some confidence in our institutions. And
the OneNep Situation Room therefore call on all stakeholders to maintain peace in Sierra Leone and to ensure there is sanity. Reporting for FTN, I am Michaela.
This is FTN's Top News. Let's now go for a break, and when we come back, we'll take another story.
You are watching FTN Top News.
How you do? I want to know the good news. I want to tell you about the cheapest data offer in salon today. Now we network with 400 euros, you get 3 megabytes. And these are the cheapest in this country.
And don't give me 5 megabytes for 450 euros. When double password they talk so.
What in?
But you are not can lie per winner.
But you get 75 megabytes, where they go for 8,250 euros. And these are the cheapest you can get.
Uncle. Orange again 90 megabytes for just 8,400 euros. Where pass waiting in the talk so.
But we get 3 megabytes where they go for 4,250 euros.
No come boy safe yo. No come boy safe yo.
Waiting.
Orange they give 65 megabytes for just 4,500. Let me say the come bongo so right now.
But we get 5 gig where they go for 200,000 euros.
Orange gets 6 gigabytes for the same 200,000 euros. Yes. What did they tell me? With Orange, I dey enjoy right now.
Yes.
Now live video. At the watch tonight.
Yeah, tell us, sure.
Oh dear, now the phone will get the orange SIM.
browse boku boku with Orange for cheap one. In fact, na almost for nothing. This na other big move where Orange don't make. The one they will like for Falamakata, make them Falamakata back no.
Dial *800# for begin the enjoyment.
Orange. It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
This is FTN Top News.
Welcome back, and you're watching Top News on Freetown Television Network. Now, the West African Senior Secondary School examination that was initially scheduled for the 28th of March has been postponed to the 3rd of April 2018. This, according to many people, is as a result of the presidential runoff election, which has been postponed. Fatmata Ruth Momo takes a look into that and file in this report.
John K. Ansumana, Deputy Director Education Management at the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, says they had their scheduled for the 28th of March 2018, but unfortunately the exams are not going to take place on the proposed date, citing some negative effects by the elections on the academic calendar.
Yeah, we had scheduled the 20th of March to have visual arts, one of the subjects we're studying with for the West African Senior Secondary School exams. But it's unfortunate that from the meeting, the regional meeting they had in Banjul, the Gambia, this exam has been postponed on the grounds that we were to have these elections on the 27th, and on the 20th will be a difficult time for the students to get back to school, even awaiting NEC to take away the materials from the electoral centers and the like. So this exam has been postponed to a later date. I think the Saturday after the elections we'll be having the visual arts exam. Well, yes, certainly it has, because just as of now, we've lost almost 3 to 4 weeks from the terminal academic calendar, and we are afraid whether we'll be able to complete the syllabus for the students, and we are also preparing for the National Primary School Exam, NPSC, which is just around the corner, and also the Basic Education Certificate Exam, BECE, is also around the corner. These are all exams that we need to meet up with our prescribed targets, and so if we're having a situation of this type, we are in while waiting for the election results, and students are not going to school, parents are afraid to send their kids to school, teachers are not going to school. We find it difficult to see how best we'll be able to complete with the syllabus for this term.
Sir Dauda, principal of the Government Model Secondary School, says his school is prepared for the exams as none of them are scheduled to take the exams on the set date of the presidential runoff election, adding that some of his students who are first-time voters will have the opportunity to vote again.
What starts tomorrow officially? Yeah. But in fact, even according to the timetable, the visual arts that is on the timetable for 28, my school is not doing it. Exam officially starts in my school on the 3rd April. On the 3rd April. And I'm sure my students are prepared. They are prepared for the exam. We met at CPSS level. We gone through the arrangement. Principals have been sent to different schools as supervisors. And so I think we are prepared for the exam. We have done it at principal level, the CPSS level. We just met yesterday at Roque. Some of them are first-time voters. I think that's the very day, just to leave your home quietly and go and vote and go back to your house and take your book and continue your studies. I don't think it has any negative effect on them.
A pupil of the Government Model Secondary School says they have prepared long since as pupils to take the exams, but the elections had negative effect on them as they were supposed to take the exams in February.
As I can see, we are well prepared because we've been studying for a long time, and as a time, we've been deprived because of this election. We're supposed to sit at this February to March, but because of the election, our exams have been postponed to April. But let me say, we are well prepared for that because we've been prepared for studying since more than a year now. We've been studying. So if this exam is going to start tomorrow, and by the grace of God, we are going to start the exam tomorrow. Most especially for us now going to school, because our parents are threatening and they are free to send us to school. But that doesn't mean we are not supposed to sit this exam because it has taken about 15 since we've been preparing for this exam.
Reporting for FTN,
You're still watching FTN's Top News. Now we're going to sports. The Interclub Non-Violence Championship 2018, organized by the Western Area Basketball Association, is ongoing at Sheikh Stevens Stadium in Freetown, with the Archibald Red Flames currently at the top of the league table. FTN sports reporter Ramatu Sise has been following the story.
The battle for this season trophy continues, with some clubs experiencing defeat, some ended in draws, while others had solid victory over their opponents. Reigning champion Archibald Red Flames continue to be at the top of the league table after defeating Moridin Heat in a 103-48 encounter. Dukure Warriors, after suffering defeats once from the Cannon, enjoyed an important win against Ashonik Mavic, 79-25. And that registered their first win in the season. Follow upwards tamed their eastern rival Freetown Lakers by 67-49 in a clash of the same equals. Cannon Royal made a huge comeback after they woefully eliminated Moridin Heat by 74-39, while the Cannon also bowed down to Archibald Red Flames by 66-43 in another tight clash over the weekend. Issa Fofana, head coach for the Cannons, also speaks on their defeat.
Well, with sports we get preparation, so we never take that day lightly because we don't prepare for it. We don't begin prepare a long time ago. And thank you for the talent, because you need the talent for workout. And the guys don't put in work, from the coaching staff to the players. And so I guess that day will get we over the edge. Well, the Cannon are a very good team, as well know that we don't already win 4 games. But the thing that we don't the toxic and the B2 and all that day. But as Budi Tomjanovic, we won't say, never underestimate the heart of the champion. So I think they underestimate we small, and make them find that very difficult. Even though we not play to the best today, we still able to beat over 20 points.
I believe say now the game, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I believe say when you lose, it means say you learn Bokutin and you get Bokutin for Golan. So now that's I believe. I don't believe say I lose, I totally lose. I just believe say I lose for like I learn a lot of other things the way I make mistakes. Where I believe say the team gets, where I believe say we need for work. Well, they're not actually good pass we. Not that like they play pass we. The only thing we turn over them and more of losing of the free throws them, because for level for each scores to the level. Well, basically what I want to tell me fans out there, I just want to let them keep the faith strong. That the Cannon we still there on the pipeline. For now I believe say we able to take on this league. Me I believe say surely. Yes, we still there on the pipeline. Now that we don't win 4 games, then I believe say we balance 2 games they will have. Definitely we'll get for good and hard.
The competition will continue on Friday when Dukure Warriors will engage their rivals Freetown Lakers, followed by traditional derby and Dog Cannon locking on with upwards in another fixture. Reporting for FTN Sports, I am Ramatu Suse.
Well, that's all we have for you today in this edition of FTN's Top News. And as always, we would like to receive your comments or feedback on any of our news stories or suggestions on programs. Do send them to our Facebook page or by email to ftnnetwork@gmail.com or on our Twitter page or by text message. I have been your presenter, Fatmata Binta Bassem. Thanks for watching.